I wouldn't be surprised if Ronaldo will go to Arsenal. You know why? Because he knows it's a top team. And he said it in his interview. He said United is not top as other clubs. And he mentioned Arsenal. And the fact that he mentioned Arsenal, which he never did, could be a sign to me.
Today, there are no formalities. Today, there is no room for small talk. But before we tune in into this amazing, legendary episode, guys, please make sure to subscribe to our channel, Higher Take, on YouTube and on all streaming platforms. Walid, you're a Chelsea fan, but today we have a Premier League legend with us in the building. So would you like to take the floor?
I would like to give the floor to this legend today here with us. Bacary, merci beaucoup. Thank you so much for being here. I'm a huge fan.
Thank you for inviting me. It's a pleasure for me to be here.
Of course. I mean, Maher's right. I am a Chelsea fan, so not too fond of Arsenal. But I do love your style, what you have done throughout the years. It's amazing. I'd like to start by asking you, how are you doing today, Bacary? How's your, let's say, football retirement going? Although I know there's many businesses, you're always busy, but like football retirement, how's it going?
Alhamdulillah, everything is good. I'm living the dream, living in Dubai. I moved to Dubai 1.5 years ago, obviously. I stopped playing in MLS 2019, unexpectedly, but you know, it's part of life. I received a text message from one day to another, so I had to take decision, rather picking the family side or focusing on football. And for me, it was all done. So alhamdulillah, I had a good life, I had a good career. It's a dream work, because you know, you have so many people who are trying to make it, and I had to readapt and readjust. So I focused on business. I moved to Dubai in the meantime, and I'm fully happy here.
Amazing to hear that. Is it difficult, like after such a long career in football, you know, to like stop playing and retire? Like, is it difficult mentally, or it's fine? Like, do some people, some players struggle, you know, after the retirement?
I can understand that people struggle, because we are used to one life. Since we are 14 years old, we are part of football. We live football, we eat football, we listen to football, we speak football. So when it stops, obviously your body miss it. You know, you have so much adrenaline and you don't spend so much energy as we used to spend before. So it can be a shock as long as you don't keep your feet grounded. I think you have to be able to live your own life, football life, and separate it with your private life. You have to find the right balance while you're playing. If you don't do it, it can be a problem, because while you play, all doors are open. And people are your friends, and people contact you, people call you. Anything is easy if you want to get. When you're retired, it's different.
It's a bit difficult,
You have less calls suddenly. You have less friends and less visit, unless you live in Dubai, because Dubai is attractive. People around you change, the world change, and attraction and the praise you have
changes as well.
For me, it was not a problem, because I always knew it would stop one day. I didn't expect it to stop, because I was always thinking I will put a stop to my career. It was different, but you know, alhamdulillah, I'm blessed at the end of the day.
Amazing career. And you know, after now that you're in Dubai, you started learning Arabic. Why did you choose to learn Arabic? Is it because you're in Dubai, or is there other reasons to that?
No, you know, I love languages first. I had the chance to learn Spanish and English at school. So I speak Spanish perfectly, English okay.
You speak great English.
I lived in England for years, so I had the chance to develop my English also. I played in Italy, so I had the chance to learn Italian also. So coming here to Dubai is for me important to understand people.
Amazing.
And try to develop my Arabic, learn Arabic. So I have a teacher now. And the way she teaches me is perfect. She's from Lebanon, and she's teaching me both ways.
So, okay, both ways. You mean like the Fusha and Amme? Khaliji.
and Khaliji also. I'm trying to understand both, you know.
Both accents.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely. Do you still play football, friendly games for fun, or not?
Sometimes, but not too much, you know, because most of the time, whenever you play football, you have phones out, you have Instagram stories, you have people are focused on the wrong aspect. When you play football, it has to be fun.
Yeah.
Not necessary to be on live on all the different social media and show with me basically. So I'm very picky with the people I play football with.
Definitely. Man, let's schedule a game with Bacary.
That's what I wanted to
No
say.
phones allowed.
No phones allowed.
No, it's too much. You know, you have life is fantastic. You know,
Yeah.
but whenever you have food, phones are out. Whenever you go dinner, everyone is on the phone. Everywhere you go now, you have a phone. When I see players winning a cup and having their phones on the pitch and taking stories, I'm thinking, what about fans? Fans are here to support you all year long. So give a bit of time to the fans. Forget about your phone. And if I was a coach, honestly, I would be very strict.
Yeah, maybe you'll be a coach soon. We hope.
We'll get into it.
Bacary, if we want to go like back in time at your childhood, how was your childhood? You know, before even playing. You know, while growing up, how was it? So I'm talking maybe from the age of like 7 to 14. How was it growing up? Was it a difficult situation?
Everything was football related.
Everything.
We just had a ball, and I grew up in a nice area, a neighborhood. So we were all friends. We had many kids back in the days in my area. So we used to play football every day. Coming out from school, we had one ball. The ball was used by everyone, and we used to go on the park. I have a park next door, and we used to play either in front of the house or on the playground or on the grass. So every day was football. I started football when I was 6 because my dad was playing, not professionally, but he was playing. My brothers were playing, so I got naturally attracted by football. I was watching every single game from every single league because my dad was watching. So I got to learn a lot. And I think I was observing at a young age movement, the way they were controlling the ball. I actually learned a lot by watching and analyzing.
Of course.
And it helped for the rest. So I started playing in a local team, and I was playing against one team called Auxerre. It's a professional team basically, but the youth team was in my league. So since 6 a young age, I used to play with them. And I used to destroy them.
Exactly.
I was on the front foot, and to me, I was just analyzing how players were moving on the pitch. Who was fast, who was slow, who was good with the ball, who was good on his right foot, left foot. I was analyzing everything, and that helped me a lot. And this is probably what Pep Guardiola is doing. Before every game, he analyzes the team and he will identify the weakness. And I understood at a young age, I had to do the same. I had to position myself on the slowest player because I was fast. And basically I learned that way.
Okay, so since the childhood, you're very analytical in how you used to study the game. But was there like maybe a specific situation, a difficult situation that made you say, I want to play the game, or no? Like,
no, it happened naturally. Basically, when you reach the age of 13, you can play for the county. So you make a selection, of course. I was selected to play for the county. And whenever you play for the county, you play for the region. So the 4 counties of my region met up and we made a tournament to create the region team. And this is where you have scouts. So the scouts from Auxerre, my first professional team, was there and contacted my parents. He sent a letter to my parents because they wanted me to join the main academy. I was 13 years old back then. So what happened is they invited me for 4 days, but I didn't feel comfortable.
You didn't?
No, not at all. I went there for 4 days and it was like being professional, you know. You had attitude, you had ego, you had diversity, and you have different mentality, you know. The way they were training was like very different from what I knew. I was training maybe once a week back in the days. On Wednesday mainly, they were training every day. So technically I was different. Tactically I was different. Regarding everything I was late, you know, regarding my development. and I didn't feel good. And I think my dad felt it. My dad was with me, he felt it. And regarding school, it was not perfectly structured also, the teachers used to come in the academy. The kids were not going to school, the environment was only football related. My dad didn't like it. So he said no. I didn't go, and he said to me, you need to pass your exam when you're 15 before going to college, and then we'll see. So 2 years later, they contacted me again, but to go to something called foot etude.
Foot etude.
Sport etude.
Yeah, sport etude.
So it's a mix between schools. And
that's a very good step, I think. Yeah.
To me, it was perfect,
Yeah.
because I went to normal school. I mixed up with all the kids, all the students, but we were training basically the week. My mom, she used to drop me on Monday at 5 a.m.
Wow.
Car park of my city. I used to take the bus for 1 hour, so no one was talking to me because the guys on the bus was going to a different school. So I was alone basically every Monday morning at 5. So most of the time I was crying because you leave your family behind, you leave your friends behind. So for 2 years it was a real challenge. And when you come, you go directly to school. We were in a dormitory, so I used to come, get showered, go to school 8 to 12, then train from 12 to 1, going back to school 1:30 to 3:30, and going back training 5:30 to 7. So I jumped from one training session on Wednesday to having 1 or 2 a day.
Wow.
So the first 3 months was challenging, honestly. It was very tough, very, very difficult.
Yeah, it was definitely hectic, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, spending all day, you're dedicating your life to football. It's football études.
Sport
études.
yes.
Après le sport études, c'était pour combien d'années t'as fait ça?
So that program is for 3 years.
And then you signed with Sen, I think.
I was basically spending the week there, but because I was promoted with my local team, I stayed playing in the local team. That was possible. So I used to spend from Monday to Friday at the academy. I was sleeping in a college, but every end of the week I was going back home. But it was difficult to join school and
Of course,
football because you have less time to study. Whenever you have homework to hand back, don't have any.
Exactly.
Don't have any time for you.
Yeah, and I feel like
Any
especially at a young age when you're moving like to a new life and like you have so many new responsibilities and you're trying to make it. So it's always hard to manage between the life that
It's
we're
hard.
used
The
to.
first year was hard, so my school level dropped. So I went for, I was usually very good, and I dropped to 10 out of 20.
Yeah.
So to me, it was ego. My ego was really bad because I was thinking how I became average at school, But when you have less time to study, most of the time you go train until 7, then you go dinner, you go up in the dormitory at 8:30 school for 1 hour. 9:30 they switch off the light. You have your own light. But when you have mathematics to unpack, history, geography, philosophy, most of the time we were sleeping at 2:30 to wake up at 6:30.
Wow.
So you needed to adapt. First year was challenging, honestly.
Mentally, very challenging.
Mentally, physically also.
Yeah, definitely.
Bacary, you stated that you started playing football at 6 years old. And I'm assuming this is where you found your passion because your father used to play football, your friends, everyone in your neighbor used to play football. But when was it that you realized that you have like naturally gifted abilities or maybe capabilities that you are different from these people and you were like one step higher than all these friends, obviously to make it professional and to be the person you are today?
Well, from a young age, I think the parents from my friends I was playing with made me feel different because I used to score. I was striker back in the days. So
Striker.
Watch this guy.
I used to score goal for fun, to be honest. I was just having fun. I was just playing football, enjoying, not thinking about the game itself. But some of my teammates, when we used to concede a goal, were losing their head. I was always peaceful, thinking, we conceded a goal, but we win. I'll score. No problem. I had so much confidence in myself. That was crazy. I was fast. I was very small. Until I was 15, I think at the age of 15, I was 165 centimeters.
Oh, okay. Wow.
I was small.
Yeah.
I'm 178 today. But I never had any worry about how I will develop. But at a young age, I was playing for my team, but I had also the chance to play for my brother's team. They are 2 years older. So I had 2 games on the weekend. At some point, it became too much. My dad stopped it because I had knee problems, growing problems. So yeah, even with my brother, I was very comfortable. I was scoring goals, and when Auxerre contacted me, that changed everything because I was going to a different level. So when I reached Auxerre the first weekend, I played with under 17 years old. But the team above was missing players. So they called me on the bench and I played maybe 15 minutes and I scored.
To the
keep an
under
eye on
18?
Yeah.
Under 18.
Senior team.
Senior team.
Yes. Maybe the 5th level of senior before professional, and I scored. So following weekend, same. They called me with the team, I scored. So I played the full season. I was under 17, but I played the full season with senior team. I played with guys who used to have daily jobs. So the physicality was different. The way they were treating me was different. And because I was putting shame on them, they tried to destroy me physically. So I had to play differently. I had to learn and analyze differently. But I still got away with it. I finished best striker.
You were a striker.
I was striker. I finished best striker of my team. I scored maybe 14, 15 goals that season. Yeah. And at the end of season, I was called off with the team above.
Wow.
Yeah. So
you were one of the youngest, yeah?
I was one of the youngest, yeah. So I was on the bench. And I was thinking, look, now you reach that level, you need to adapt to that level and become the best player of that level. And I did. So the season after, I was called with the team above on the bench. Gradually, I climbed steps. And when I reached the team above, I was on the bench and I was thinking, okay, now we reached that level, you need to adapt to that level and become the best player of that level. Yeah. And I did.
You were doing everything
until I reached a reserve team. And when I reached a reserve team, I remember we played the game in North. 20 minutes to go and the left back got injured. And I was playing on the right flank back in the days, and the coach moves the right back on the left.
Okay.
And he asked me to play the last 25 minutes on the right back.
On the right back. Okay.
So I played, but to me it was not football, it was pride. Because the guy, you have tricky guys, we were away, you have the fans. Most of the time, young guys, they want to make fun of
the defenders.
Someone, or the defenders, they want to put pressure on. And I remember I was like, 25 minutes, you're not going to pass me. It was pride. It was not even football for me. The guy didn't pass once.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. So at the end of the game, the coach came to me and he was like,
I think we found our new right back.
He was amazed. And everyone came to me like, oh, did you ever play right back? I said, no. He said, no, you're lying. I said, no, I never played right back. I swear, you never. I said, no, I never played right back. And he goes like, but how do you do that? I said, well, it's not football for me. It's pride. It's like if I'm on the street, the guy was not going to pass me for fun. And he goes like, okay. You know what? Wednesday we talk. So Wednesday comes, and it was maybe 1 month before the end of season. So you have players on trials. And he said to me, look, you were amazing. How did you do that? I said, I don't know. He said, look, I have players on trials, so I need to see them on their position. One is playing striker, unfortunately for you. So you're going to play as a central midfield, like N'Golo Kante, or right back. Because some players are missing. I said, let me go right back. I'm not a midfield player. So I went there. I did well during training session. And I finished the season as a right back, maybe 3 months, like a star.
Yeah.
So honestly, the way I was playing was crazy. End of season, I'm called off with professional team.
End of season, you were with the professional team.
Yeah, and I was amateur. I just had a license, no contract.
Oof.
So basically, any team in the world could have come for me and signed me because I didn't have
a contract.
And they wouldn't even pay to get me.
Oof.
Yeah. So the only choice for the club to sign me was to sign me as a professional because I was below.
Yeah, below the age of 18.
Uh-huh.
Which team was it again?
Auxerre.
Auxerre, still with Auxerre.
That was a team of Giroud, Philippe Mexes.
Yes.
I was training with these guys.
You were training with Philippe Mexes and Giroud. Wow.
Yeah.
You were like a young kid.
I was 19.
Yeah.
I was 19, so 19, no contract, amateur player, like any random team. So I was like not ashamed. I was thinking, okay, you know what? I'll show you what I can do.
And you did.
And I did,
Yeah.
but I was amateur. And some of my teammates in reserve teams and professional, so I was upset because I was thinking I deserve as much as them, you know. And he told me, no, you only play 4 months. I need to see you for a longer period. I said, okay, I'm off.
You told him you're leaving.
Yeah. He said to me, what do you mean you're off? I say, look, I trust myself. I'm off. If you don't trust me, I'm off. He said, no, you cannot leave, but you can understand we cannot sign you. I said, I don't care. I'm off. If I have to go to a second division team, I will go. But I know my quality. I know I'll be the best one day. And he said to me, no, you cannot do that. So next minute, I have the coach from the first team calling me.
The next minute, the coach.
He calls me in the office and he goes like, okay, you've been doing amazing, but you know, we cannot sign you professional. I say, it's fine. I don't ask you to sign me, but I'm off. And he was like, oh, you have confidence. Huh? I say, yes. And he goes like, look, we're going to change your condition. What do you want? I said, what do you mean? What do I want? He said, how much you want to earn?
How much you want to earn?
And then I go like, I have the reserve team in front of me. I have the first team coach and I have the assistant coach. And I'm 19 years old. He said, how much you want? I say, look, I need to go to speak to my agent first and I come back to you. He said, okay, come back to me tomorrow. I didn't have agent. But I had to earn time, you know? I had to earn time. I finished.
That's so smart.
I came out of it. And this is something you need to learn. Take your time.
That's true.
You as a diamond, you need to take your time. Don't rush. I called my dad. I said, look, he asked me how much I want to earn. And he said to me, what did you tell him? I said, I need to speak to my agent.
I guess you are my agent.
So my dad tried to call one agent, Pape Diouf. Bless him, he died during COVID, but he helped so much.
Fabio.
Pape Diouf, his name was.
Pape Diouf.
He was at Marseille, the president of Marseille back in the days, but he used to be an agent, Senegalese. So he was very, very nice because he gave many tools to my dad. So I negotiated my first contract alone.
God rest his soul.
So basically, this is how I started, and then I spent the whole year with a professional team. They were not happy about my performances. They say I was a bit shaky. I was not having the same desire to the highest, but I knew my quality. And one day, the right back for the first team got injured, and they had a chance to sign one professional team player, experience, who was on loan, on trial, or sign me. And they signed me, and I started. And after 1 month, I did well. I got the call up for under 21, French national team under 21.
French national team.
Back in the days, we were fighting to play the European Cup in 2006 in Portugal. Same year as the World Cup in Germany.
Yeah.
So I became regular in under 21.
You were under 21 regular during the 2006.
So we qualified. We played the playoff game to qualify against England. We beat them, and we played the European Cup 2006 in Portugal. First game we played Portugal, so I had in front of me Quaresma. Quaresma was here, Nani was here, Moutinho was here, Meireles was here.
You were playing for the under 21 or
against these players?
Against Portugal, which had these players at the time.
Oh, wow.
That was 2006. Cristiano went up with the first team. He played the World Cup.
Oh, okay.
But in youth team, you had Ronaldo, Quaresma, all these players, and we beat them.
You beat them?
Yeah.
Beat them in Braga.
Wow.
We beat them. Second game, we play Germany, we beat them. Third game, we play Bosnia, we beat them. And then we play semi-final against Holland, against Untalar.
Man, these huge names. I can't.
Yeah.
I love the story. And
Anna,
I'm letting you go because it's so interesting.
Yeah.
It's super
so
interesting.
basically, we did well. We lost 3-2 in extra time, but I did amazing. And you had many scouts. Arsenal saw me, and following season, they came for full season.
Perfect.
And I played full games. I finished best right back of the league. I got the call of my agent saying Arsenal wanted to sign me, and following game, I made a mistake. We conceded a goal because of me. And I was like, oh, they're going to reverse it. It's their choice.
Oh, you got worried about it.
I was like, But everything went well, and they contacted me. The club didn't want to let me go. So for 2 months, it was a tough holiday. But at the end of the day, one day my agent called me and said, tomorrow you're going to London. So I just packed 2 luggage and I left.
Yeah.
Like that. And I signed Arsenal first season. Perfect.
Amazing.
And best right back of the league.
Yeah.
My first season, and the rest.
The rest is history.
The rest is history.
The
Yeah.
rest is a story, yeah.
What an amazing story. I don't know where to start. Yeah, there's so many points. The way you were very bold in your decisions, selling Auxerre like you wanted a professional
The confidence he
contract.
portrayed when he approached at 19 years old the manager and told him like, look, I'm going off. And you knew like if you went off, there was maybe this small percent that no one will take you. And you were like, you took the risk, like high risk, high reward. And eventually it paid off.
You know, if you're confident about yourself, if you listen
Exactly.
to advices, I did listen to advices all my life. I was analyzing all my life. Honestly, my first and most important season as a professional was the first one with Auxerre. I was on the bench. I was on the bench at 19, 20 for 1 year. I didn't even play 1 minute. But it's the most important because in front of me and the regular starter was the best right back of the league.
So you're observing.
Everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Who was the right back
His
then?
name was Joan Rade.
Oh.
He was the best back in the days. So I learned so much from him. Every single move, the way he was marking players, attacking, going down the flank, defending, I was very attentive. And I learned, and following day I was playing with reserve team. So I was just trying to copy past what he was doing and adding my touch. I think it worked quite well.
Yeah.
Worked very well.
Yeah.
So like, as you said, learning from people and seeing what they're doing, implementing them is very important. Another thing that's very important is knowing your own capabilities. And you knew the gift you had, and that's why you were taking these extra steps and pushing yourself, which is something I totally, which is totally amazing. A question that I have, I know when you were young, what club was your dream club? And I know Arsenal was an amazing transfer, obviously, but like, did you have like one dream club that you wanted to join while you were young?
No, I used to like all teams.
You didn't have a favorite team?
When I was young, no. It was changing depending on who was first.
I'm with the winner.
But basically, I used to, I was a football addict. No matter who was playing, I was watching and I was loving football. So I could love Real Madrid, Barca. I could love Tottenham. I could love United.
Chelsea.
I could love Chelsea. As long as the team was playing well, But obviously, when I was a bit older and when I was playing for Auxerre, I was watching a lot Arsenal. Because we used to go hotel. And in hotel, games are late in France. I used to watch Premier League games at 3 p.m. in France. Most of the time you have Arsenal playing because you had many French players. It was a French club. So I identify myself the most to Arsenal. And then Abu Dhabi was at the academy with me in Auxerre.
So he went to Arsenal.
So I used to watch Arsenal mainly.
Wow.
And you manifested this club.
Who was your idol while growing up, football idol? Someone that you looked up to?
I loved George Weah.
George
Weah. He was playing for Paris Saint-Germain, the striker. He won the Golden Ball.
He won the gold. Oh, wow.
Yes, back in the days, obviously Zidane.
Zidane.
Was something special, honestly. Watching him play was, it's crazy because, and it's the same analysis I have when I see Neymar and Messi playing. We're using the same ball, but the outcome is so different. The way they play with the ball and the way they feel comfortable with the ball is totally different than to everyone. Everyone had a different relationship with the ball. And when I see them playing, I know how difficult it is just to shuffle your body across and to feel natural, to make step over. And, it's not natural. It's something you get when you're young most of the time. And if I had one regret, it's not having a pre-academy in my life, because until I was 15, I only had one training session a week. That didn't stop me from being professional because I'm a quick learner and I was listening and I'm a hard worker, but I wish I could have their quality, and their relationship with the ball, because the ball for them is
very natural. like
supernatural.
super easy.
By the way, on this point, obviously you previously mentioned that you were having fun when playing football. It was very comfortable. You were scoring on all your friends. If you had 15 minutes and you conceded a goal, the manager would put you in, you would score, you would win. So it was very like natural, very like talentish for you. But I want to talk to you on the challenge part of things. So if you can give me like maybe a reason or two, like what's the hardest part of becoming a professional player, especially in your journey?
Honestly, you feel alone.
Alone.
You're always alone, you know. You don't have your family, you don't have friends, you don't go to your friend's wedding, you don't go to your friend's parties, you don't go out because you had a curfew. I went first out clubbing, I think I was 24.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
I don't drink alcohol, of course. You need to watch out your diet. Whenever you go on holiday, 2 weeks go like this. And then you have to go back, obviously. People don't like you, kids from the same age, because you are the mini stars of the school. So most of the time it's problems, fighting. Most of the time, yes. And I was blessed because I was getting on with everyone. I didn't have any problem. I didn't care. I was living my own life, but most of the time we had pressure on the sport, on the football team. You need to learn from it, you know?
Yeah, and in these times where you were facing these thoughts, these dark thoughts that, you know, I'm alone, I'm young, I'm pursuing this journey, like no one's next to me, like I still have a lot to learn. Did you ever like reach a stage where you were doubting yourself that you might not make it due to these like overthinking happening to you?
No, never.
Never.
I was not... Me, I used to take day by day. We all have a destiny, and I took step by step. When I was 17, I was not looking forward to be professional because you still have a gap. Yes, of course you can do it, but I was conscious. I was late. I was conscious about my own quality. I was not like Neymar at 17. I was not the player I was even. But eventually, with time and analyzing and working really hard, I became the player. I made a lot of mistakes, but when I made the mistake, I never accepted it. If we considered a goal, because I made the mistakes, that became personal. I wanted to be perfect, and I wanted to have a clean paper at the end of the game. My dad always told me, if you think as a team, you have to be able to be proud of yourself, no matter what the score is. And whenever I was playing, of course, I was thinking about the team. I was thinking about the team performance, about winning. But I was thinking about my performance.
Yeah.
I was thinking, look, today, if I stop Neymar from playing, I made my job. If I stop Ronaldo from playing, if I stop Gareth Bale, I made my job. Even if we lose, you need to have that 10% personal side of pride, you know, if you want to be able to progress. And I always had that. And when you reach academy, it's not easy because you start with a group of friends and it gets tighter and tighter.
Exactly.
Tighter. So the people you spend your time with are living slowly. So my best friend, for example, I was 24 hours 7 with him. At the end of 18, that was difficult for him and he decided to leave. So imagine spending 4 years of your life with the same person every day and suddenly...
Blink of a second.
Yes.
Separated.
And that was very tough day for me. I cried like a baby.
Oof.
Because that's someone that is taken away from your life. And when you start playing, and on the weekend, I remember we used to sleep in the dormitory, but the school was closed. So we used to get 2 luggage and walk down. It was on a hill. We used to walk down to town for half an hour with 2 luggage. We used to sleep in this building where young workers were living, you know, a small bedroom, like 2 meters out of 3 meters. You used to spend the weekend like that. We used to walk everywhere. We didn't have any cars. And on the weekend, Monday morning, we used to wake up at 5, get the bags, walk back up. You know, I had a lot of memories where maybe some of my colleagues gave up. Were crying or took the easy side of, okay, you know, I have a team, good team in national, lower divisions. They want me. I will be the star player. I'll leave.
They settled for less.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's I think very important. The mentality you need to be strong, very mentally strong, especially to achieve Premier League. I mean, I'm sure you faced a very difficult period of time. I remember after you joined Arsenal, maybe a year after one of your brothers died.
Yeah.
Amar, yani, Allah yarhamu, God rest his soul. So I'm sure it must have been difficult playing at a high level in the Premier League and
That was very
Grieving.
difficult.
grieving.
That was
Like the Premier League is not gonna pause. It's
No,
still
it
gonna
was,
go. So,
when something like that happened, and it's maktub.
that's
The fact
maktub.
that I'm Muslim helped me a lot. But still, when I was young, it was the worst thing that could have happened to me. And it happened suddenly. I didn't expect it. So I was playing PlayStation and my dad called me crying. And I was like, what's wrong? And he goes like, so are you okay? And my parents were in Senegal at that period. And he said to me, no, I'm not okay. I said, why? What's wrong? And I thought about my mom for some reason. I don't know. In
I thought
Africa,
you were
and
wrong, man.
I don't know. When my parents were going Africa, I was like devastated. When I was young, they were going for 2 weeks. It was the end of the world for me because I was worried. Africa is amazing, but I didn't have so much information about Africa. It's a different way of life, and I was always worried. But that worry happened. But I didn't cry because it was surreal for me. It was not real.
Can't believe it.
No, my brain became slow motion. It's strange to explain, but I was living in my body, but somewhere else at the same time. So I didn't cry. I was like, what? And he started crying, and I was like, and I just sat. I stopped talking. And I think 2 days later, I went back to France. And when I saw everyone crying, I was upset. Deep inside, I was very upset. And I didn't want anyone to talk to me. And then I stayed maybe three days. Arsene Wenger called me. And of course, he didn't know what to say. And he was trying to cheer me up. I was okay. I thought I was okay. But I was not okay deep inside. But I just didn't talk. People were coming to me, and I was like, oh, yeah, thank you. I didn't want anyone to talk to me, and I kept everything inside, which is not good. But my brain became slow, I used to forget things. Even today I'm talking about it, I can't remember how the days I spent there. It's like my memory deleted. I can't remember. I remember reaching, but I remember going to hospital, seeing him and coming back, but everything like disappeared from my head. My memory is erased. It's strange to explain,
Definitely, it's a
But
difficult
then
experience.
I had the choice to go. Well, my dad talked to me and he said to me, look, either you come to the funerals in Senegal and everyone will come and look at you and take your energy and come for you, not for your brother, and come to watch and see your reaction, or you can go back and maybe try to think differently, And then my uncle one morning, the day I was coming back to London, he took me apart and he goes like, now everything is on you. I was 24. I said, what do you mean? He said, your family is going to be okay if you are okay on the pitch.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
So it's a big pressure.
it's a huge pressure.
And he was right.
He was 100% right. And
It's
your
not
dad
fair.
was right. And
It's not fair, but he was right.
That was the reality.
He say, if you are okay, they're going to be okay. If you are doing well, everyone's going to be okay.
Yeah.
If they feel you are down and your performances are down,
they're going to feel worse. So you had a huge responsibility. It's difficile.
And I remember crying when he said this to me because I was thinking it's not fair.
Not fair for you.
I was thinking
you're
it's
putting
not
all
fair.
the pressure
He
on
was
you,
right,
and you
but
cannot grieve.
And this is when I felt emotional. And that morning I woke up and first time I saw my parents crying also. That was difficult. And I was leaving back to London. So I went back and luckily we had the game maybe 3 days later or 4 days later. You remember when we played against United, we lost 8-1?
Yeah.
8-2, yeah.
8-2 or whatever. That was that weekend.
Wow.
This is why I didn't play the game.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah. I didn't speak. No, the press didn't know. No one knew. But later we had the game against AC Milan, and I played the game.
Yeah.
And I think it helped me a lot being on the pitch and sharing moments with the guys. And the guys were good to me, you know.
They're good.
The team were good to me. Guy Clichy was really good. He took my family with his family away, you know. And it was good to not to forget, because you don't forget.
Yeah, but to like,
you know, playing for me was a way to get away.
Oh.
But one more time, I was going training session, reaching the training facilities, but I didn't know how long I spent. I didn't know which way I went through. You know, I was just really, I'm already here, but
it's not just a blur in your head.
Controlling the ball, first I was okay. But then I got injured at Chelsea.
Yeah.
Following season, I had a different season. I finished best right back that season, but following season, it was different for me. I came back a bit injured. I was still not perfect from the previous season. And controlling the ball was difficult. I had to focus just to something natural. To me, it was difficult. So my mind was working constantly. I was not getting rest, basically. So controlling the ball was difficult. The ball was coming, but I had to focus on controlling the ball. I had to focus to make a pass. I had to, you know, until one day before game, I think the psychologist of the team came to me and said like, okay, can I come in? I was like, okay, come, you know. He goes like, are you okay? I said, yes, I'm good. He said, are you sure? I said, yeah. Why? He said, I've been observing you before games and your look is empty. I said, what do you mean? He said, before games, I look at you and I observe, this is my job, and I see you're here, but you're not here. And I said, yes, but before games, I used to speak to my brother every single game.
Oof.
So for me, before games, I listen to my music and I need to find a way to concentrate differently. So I was looking outside. You know, when you go to these places, Newcastle and all these places. So I used to be analyzing how people were living. I was not focused on the game. I had my music on, but I was looking outside and watching the kids running outside and watching the house, the cars, people, the behavior, anything but not the game, you know?
You're not focusing. How long did it take you to it's something that you can never totally overcome, you know, but like how long did it take you to be able to focus again on these games?
2 years.
2 years.
From the time it happened, 2 years. I came back to myself 2010.
Allah yarhamo. Hope everything
Rest
for
his
you.
soul.
Let's just switch gears a bit to a person that you have mentioned 3 minutes ago, and I think this person, and I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Walid, this manager is one of the best managers that has ever managed in the Premier League. And I'm really intrigued for you, Bacary, to tell us more about Arsene Wenger as a person and your personal relationship with Arsene Wenger.
He's honestly, he's a fantastic coach. And most importantly, fantastic person.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's very close to the players. Every morning he comes to his dressing room at the training ground and he shake everyone's hands. And then sometimes we used to have debate, laugh. We used to see the coach, remain quiet, say hi, hey coach. And he used to sit there with us and enter the conversation. So we used to debate on the previous game, on Rafael Nadal, who played a fantastic game against Federer. He used to participate to the debate. He was very human. His human side was crazy because he understood we were a human being before being players. And he was very close from us. His trust into the team was fantastic. And this is probably why, especially the first year I joined, you know, most of the time we used to concede the first goal. Yeah. If you check, we used to concede. If you go back in time, you used to concede most of the time the first goal. Even the first game of season. On one mistake, I think, from the keeper, we conceded against Fulham. We managed to come back 2-1. Second game, we play Blackburn. I think we conceded the first goal. We managed to win 3-1. And so on, and so on. Every time we conceded a goal, on the pitch, we could feel we will win the game.
So like you needed to concede, yeah.
We concede. This was like, okay, we keep playing the same.
No worries.
But I think he played a big part in this. We were going back, for example, dressing room at halftime. Calm, quiet.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, we need to play. Keep playing. It's okay. We will find a way to play. And he used to raise our confidence up. And you feel invincible. And he did it with Invincibles, guys.
Yeah, he did do it.
I think he played a big part because he was like, you know what, you're losing, it's okay. You're going to come back and win. Don't worry, but keep playing the same or adjust.
Yeah. But, he brought a lot of consistency, to Arsenal, but for like 6 years while you were there, but there was no trophies. And that's what a lot of fans, were annoyed about. And even like the ending, they were like, Wenger out, we don't want Wenger anymore, like many fans towards the end, which is not the best. And Arsenal definitely did much worse when he left. But there was this lack of trophies. Why? Where was like the ending? Like, there's always this consistency, top 4 for, I don't know, 10 seasons, maybe top 4, but there was no
like
bunch of trophies.
There was a missing factor.
Yeah, the trophies. Yeah. That's it.
Other teams.
All the teams?
Other teams were better than us.
The other teams.
United on the pitch were not better. We could compete. We could match their quality. Even we had a very young team.
Chelsea back
but
then.
We lacked of pride when we were playing. We lacked of arrogance. Whenever we were playing them on the dressing, on the corridor before getting to the game, we could see they were pumped up, saying, we're going to squash them. They were physical, tall, strong. They used to be on TV. They used to play important games. They used to be all on the national team. And I think we were a bit impressed. So the way we were playing against these teams was different. We used to play, but not to play and win. We didn't believe enough in ourselves to think, we're going to beat them. This is probably where we lost. Against any team, we were like, okay,
big teams.
We can win. We will win the game. But whenever we're facing United with Ronaldo, Paul Scholes, Giggs, all these famous players, the one we used to see on TV.
Yes, Ferdinand.
For us, they had more personality. And I believe if we had more personality and more pride and more arrogance like they did, like Patrice Evra, whenever you see him talking, he's full of himself. He's full of arrogance. But that made him the player he is. And I admire a lot this in him. And this is why he was a captain. This is why he's so much respected in United. This is why we respect him so much in France and in the national team. He has this arrogance that make him proud of himself and the competitor he is. And we lacked of this.
Of course. So was it more because of the players or the manager that these cups did not come? Or
it comes with experience. We were young. I was 24 and I was one of the oldest players. So most of the kids were like 18, 19, 20. We're not used to play against adversity, big atmosphere, all of that. Some of us were not used to it. We played with no fear. But I believe experience played a part in it. You need experienced players. And coming back to the World Cup, when I see Spain today, you can have as much quality as you want if you don't have experienced players in it.
Yeah, they're young.
It's difficult.
Spain is young now.
And I think they're going to struggle.
Probably.
For the same reason.
Bacary, we talked about Arsene Wenger, but now I want to mention another manager, and that is Pep Guardiola, a manager that you managed to play under as well. If you had to compare both styles, both approach to the game, what would you state as like a main difference and of course like a commonality between Arsene Wenger and Pep Guardiola?
Totally different world.
Totally different.
Yeah.
No similar.
You have Arsene Wenger, who is like a dad to us. Give room to the mistake. Understand players' philosophy. Patient. Who will give you your chance if you had a bad spell. 2 games. He won't be afraid to play you again. And then on the other side, you have the perfection of the coach, who doesn't give room for mistake, little, who is very strict about the diet, the discipline, the fact that you have to respect rules on the pitch. If he tells you do something, you have to do it. If he tells you stand here, don't be 1 meter away from where he told you to stand, because you're on the bench with him next week. No matter how good you play, his focus is more on the other teams. Arsene Wenger focus on Arsenal. Pep Guardiola used to focus on the other teams, and I was mentioning before, he was identifying the weakness of the other teams. He will tell you who you have to press and the way to follow if you want to hurt your other team, because he will have watched the weakness of the other team. He will have identified their weaknesses. The players, the center back who is less comfortable with the ball, he will tell us, make sure he receives the ball, because he's not so comfortable with the ball.
Okay.
Don't give the ball to the one who can use it perfectly. So the way we were pressing was calculated. The way we were standing on the pitch was calculated too. The way they come out from the back, it's analysis of the other team, of the other movement, of the other player's position. Most of the teams play differently. Arsenal were playing towards and because of our positioning. Man City is playing regarding the position of all the other teams. Yeah. So they're clever, they play around with you. If you press one way, they will know which player is free. Depending on how you press, if you close one relationship between me and you, they will find a way to get the ball to him by using another way.
Adjusting Perkins.
Constantly. So the first year was a bit of challenge, because you need to understand and be able to do that quickly, at a quick pace.
Especially under Pep Guardiola.
Yeah. So we made mistakes, of course. We conceded goals, we lost games. But the following season, they went over 100 points. And I'm not surprised.
So interesting.
Yeah. Bacary, when you moved to City, did you ever worry about the fans? I mean, the fans were a bit upset.
It was different. Arsenal fans?
Arsenal fans, when you left?
They cannot be upset.
They cannot be?
How? I gave my life for the club. 7 years.
You went to a rival-ish. Back then.
Okay, but why they didn't keep me?
Yeah.
It's easy to blame the player, but back in the days, okay, I stayed 7 years at the club. My first season was amazing. I changed contract. I extended my contract 2 years, 2014. I kept the same contract 2018, 2014. I never asked any money. I never been to the coach office and complain. I was on the pitch every single game. I was sometimes a bit injured. Fan wouldn't know. I was sick. Fan wouldn't know. I lost my brother. I was on the pitch. So I gave my life for the club.
Yeah, then they need to respect
then
the
club came and talked to me to renew the contract October 2013, 2 months before I was free agent. So to me, I was already free in my head.
Too late. They should have talked earlier.
You said it.
Definitely.
It's not a problem. I still have Arsenal in my head, but at some point, I want to feel love. I wanted to feel loved. They loved me, but, contractually, it was different because 2 months to go on my contract.
That's definitely late.
Is there a part of you that thinks they may have took you for granted since you spent 7 years there?
Arsenal, no. I had an amazing relationship with everyone at the club. Before the family club, I was home. I was in London. Being home in London was fantastic to me. It was easy to go back home to France. But at some point, season 2013, I got upset. I'm not going to lie, I got upset because I was thinking, why is it not coming to me? I'm doing my best. I'm being named best right back again, and I took it personal. Maybe I should have talked and make them know, but I was thinking, look, if they don't come to me and talk to me and sign me again, maybe they don't love me as much as they're showing to me.
Sure.
Because it's simple. If I own the club today, if I want a player, I'll make him understand and I sign him as soon as I can. They didn't for some reason. I never asked why, but they had their strategy. Maybe they will think, okay, he's a nice guy who will never talk and not complain. But at the end of the day, with 2 months to go, I had And I knew I had a ton of teams who were showing and would show love to me. So I was thinking, you know what, that's a sign that you don't have to push things and you just have to follow what happened. And I left.
And, other players left to big clubs, Van Persie to United, Nasri also went to City. Did that also push you to also like up?
I went honestly to the team who showed
the most love. That's important. That's very important.
The most interest.
Yeah.
Liverpool showed some love, but the problem with Liverpool is I didn't want to live in Liverpool.
You didn't want to live in
just
Liverpool.
Geographically.
That was the reason I was not so interested in Liverpool. I respect the club so much. It's a fantastic club, one of the best clubs in the world. The fans are amazing. But living in Liverpool, it was a bit rough. Made me not so secured regarding my family. That's why I didn't consider much going to Liverpool. I had Inter Milan, but moving to Italy, I didn't like the idea of not talking English, especially for my kids. And City came. To me, it was a challenge that attracted me. Being part of the best player of the league, competing with the best player of the world, because Zabaleta was back then at the top. He was a vice captain.
Company was there also, no?
Yeah.
Company was all captain. Yeah. So I was thinking,
Amazing
what?
Team.
Come out of your comfort zone, and it's a fantastic club, fantastic players. If you want to keep playing at the top level, go. And I went. People starting, he went for money. I never talk about money in my life. And if that was for money, do you think I would have stayed 6 years on the same contract?
No.
But at that time, I was upset against Arsenal. Yes. Yeah. And I was giving a lot of critics against the club. Yes. And today they don't follow me on Instagram. This is why, because I was very harsh with them. But inside I was very upset because I have the feeling to give my life for the club. And behind I hear fans saying I'm a snake. Me, a snake? And I was very upset. I was super upset. Listen, first time I go back to the club, and I know it doesn't represent the club itself. It doesn't represent the fans because I'm still loved. And everyone, even today, I meet Arsenal fans, they are praising me. But as a player, hearing I'm a snake, going on social media and see they insulting me, saying I'm a snake, I left for money, I destroy my career. Or for what? I was yours.
That's true. I mean, you dedicated your life. You were a loyal player, to be honest, top performing. And
I go back to the club. First time I go back to Arsenal, they booing me every time I touch the ball. A part of fans. Do you think it's nice?
That's not nice. And that's not nice at all because, to be very honest, when Lampard left Chelsea to go to Manchester City, I never showed any envy towards Lampard. I'm like, I know he did a lot for us. He went to Manchester City. I'm a Chelsea fan, huge Chelsea fan. But yeah, and even when he scored, he didn't celebrate. Lampard, when he scored on Chelsea, he went to City, scored on Chelsea.
We still have a lot of respect for the club.
Of course. And I'm sure there's fans like me who did not take it the way, but there are always different types of fans.
Look, it doesn't represent the fans one more time, but coming back home, hearing them booing me when I have the ball, that made me super upset. Yeah. During the game, I was pissed off, honestly. I was very upset. But you need to move on, And even today, I see, you snake, you left for money. But I didn't talk on the press. I didn't explain why I left.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to expose the club. And, I don't want to put pressure. I didn't want to put pressure on the club because that was between me and the club. And
of course.
The talk was going on and on and on.
Khalas, you got fed up about it.
For 3 months, we were trying to find a solution. And at some point, I was like, okay, we're not going to find a solution. So I leave.
Definitely.
Bacary, you tweeted in May that Arsen will be champions. Yeah. And you got so many comments on it and it kind of went viral. Do you think they're on the right track? Do you think it's going to happen?
It's going to happen.
Is it coming home?
It's going to happen?
It's going to happen.
It's going to happen. You heard it here first, guys, on Higher Take.
But City are still up on their behind.
The determination the players have, the way they defend together, the togetherness, the vibe they have with the coach is they have all ingredients today to be champion. They are 5 points clear ahead of City. They're going to play against City.
That's gonna be huge.
in Arsenal first. So if they win, they put them 8 points behind. It's 8 points is a lot because everyone wants to be able to destroy City. Every time City plays, it's a cup game because the players playing against City wants to be scouted.
But
So-
you know, there's one thing Arsenal like did that I think for the past 2-3 years. They do amazing the entire season, and then the last 10 games, they crumble. Like not crumble.
Yeah, but
Like
if you look
especially-
back last season, they started badly.
Yeah.
They crumbled last season, but they missed points at the end because they started badly. They lost 3 games in a row. That's why, at the end of the day, they were running.
Mm.
This season is different. They are first. The confidence is high. You have a break, so another season will start now. So they will start from scratch again. And determination, the fans changed. Before you have fans against criticizing, doing this podcast channel, destroying the club, destroying the players. The mindset changed, the mood changed at the club. The club is back to its best. Anyone coming and starting from the club now, even when they start youth team and youth players, they are still performing. That was not the case before. You had a gap between the start 11 and the other players. Now anyone come to the team makes the difference.
They're doing very well.
You know,
They're doing super
it's a
well.
complete team.
Yeah.
And let's not forget who's the manager of Arsenal right now and who was he
Arteta.
under before. He was under Pep Guardiola.
Yeah.
So this play.
Let's see. I mean, I wouldn't be too thrilled.
And
with
also,
Arsenal.
you have an important player now. You have the transfer window.
Yeah. Are they gonna act?
We are reading that Ronaldo is not feeling well in United. I wouldn't be surprised if Ronaldo will go to Arsenal. You know why? Because he knows it's a top team. And he said it in his interview.
Mm.
He said United is not top as other clubs. And he mentioned Arsenal. And the fact that he mentioned Arsenal, which he never did, could be a sign to me.
Piers Morgan also might have pushed him to go to Arsenal. Piers Morgan is with
You know,
Arsenal.
he could give 6 months of his life for Arsenal. If I was him, I would do it. Because I know I will play my part in Arsenal. And I know the fans will love me. And Arsenal is Arsenal.
But who would he play instead of Jesus? Gabriel Jesus? Or?
Why not playing them together up front?
But who would you... Now
Yeah,
they
who
have
would
a
you
very good
sacrifice?
starting 11. Like Odegaard is behind
This is a
them.
strength. This is a
Saka's
good
their
question.
right.
This
This is a very good question.
This is a good question because now you're wondering who's out.
Yeah.
Who do you have to take out? Before it was not the case. You could have to take out maybe
Anyone.
2 or 3 players.
Yeah.
The fact that we wonder who will be not playing is a good point.
But the thing was now Ronaldo, he wants to go play. If you don't, he wants to play. I think.
I think he will play in Arsenal. But one more time, the quality Arsenal players have are different from United.
Mm.
Some respect for United.
Yeah,
But the football Arsenal
are
play,
killing
they
it
understand
right now.
football. United players, I have the feeling some of the players, they're not right.
Mm.
They're not right for the club or they have too much pressure. They are good players, but they have too much pressure in United. The way they play, the fact that they're always looking for the same players. When Ronaldo is on the pitch, they are looking for him.
Mm.
Arsenal football, the way they play is different. They constantly move, little pass, move, crossing, coming back, getting the ball fast. They constantly with the ball is different. That suits better Ronaldo than United to me.
For the past decade, who do you think has been the biggest London club, biggest club in London for the past decade?
Chelsea.
Chelsea.
Are you happy now?
Yeah.
Chelsea was flying. Oh, they had such big impact, many players. They had a fantastic president, Abramovich.
Yeah.
The way he
Wow.
did, the way and what he did for the club.
The entire fans were absolutely
Because
destroyed when
we
he
need
left.
to give him some credit. He had to leave.
He was
of course.
amazing, Abramovich.
As a president, he was amazing.
It was fantastic.
And the team, look, Drogba, Terry, Chokol, Lampard, Essien.
Wow, it was amazing team. I miss it.
Anelka.
John Terry,
Mo Salah.
yeah. Mo Salah, yeah.
Yeah.
We let go of Mo Salah, Lukaku, De Bruyne.
You
That's
know,
fine. This is under Mourinho. No.
the way and the sport director was also Marina. She
Yeah,
was doing.
Marina is amazing, yeah.
We have to give her credit Because most of the time when you see a lady at such a position, you have guys criticizing.
She
she's a
was
lady,
our secret weapon. She was not. She
This
was
is what I'm
the
talking
weapon.
about. We need to give praise to her.
Yeah, amazing.
She's a lady,
praise.
but she can do as well as other guys. And today, shouldn't be a problem to hire ladies in football. Some of them are very competent, and she's a proof that she can do well.
Definitely agreed. I want to ask you before, because we still want to talk about the World Cup. I don't want to take too much. Just quickly, Champions League. Who do you think has the best chances winning it?
Paris.
Paris.
Nice
I would
take.
say Paris because Messi is not getting any younger. He's probably the last one he could play, or maybe one more before he start going abroad. So regarding the World Cup or regarding the Champions League, we have players in the same position. Benzema is getting old, I want to say. So even Madrid is really important for them. They are used to win the competition, and they did last year again. But I think Paris has been waiting too long.
Too long. I think they're cursed. Paris, like every time, but because this year
They
also
used to be cursed. Yeah. Now the way they play in Champions League is different from the way they play in the league. The way they press is different under this coach.
Yeah, but what about City? City, even they've been waiting for it as well.
I'm worried about City because whenever they reach the last quarter,
semi-final quarter,
they shake.
They play differently. I'm not sure they can cope with the pressure. It's different vibe when you play Champions League. It's different atmosphere. It's different way of playing. And most importantly, everyone analyze City. They know how they play. So when you face a wall, you expose yourself. And the way they lost against Brentford was exposing themselves. Because they end up conceding a goal they should never concede. They were in control of the game all game, but they concede because they expose themselves by the way they're playing. And in Champions League, they were punished by playing this way last season again. This is why maybe they should change the way they play in Champions League.
Definitely. Before entering the World Cup, just the last subject I would like to tackle. Racism is a huge problem, I don't know if you've ever felt it in France, maybe in London. But are the federations taking enough action, to prevent it? To prevent racism?
To me, they're not.
Not?
No.
So you
they're
must
not taking any major decision. Yes, they put one in down. Does it change the world? The whole team put one in down. What did it change? Nothing.
Nothing, exactly.
They will start taking harsh decision and be very strict from the minute they lose money. And the best way to do it is to stop playing. If you hear someone saying something, stop playing. Everyone say, oh, no, you shouldn't pay attention. What pisses me off is when I see one player leaving and everyone saying, no, play. Why? If one of them is attacked, it's the whole team which is attacked.
True.
Come out. Then TV rights will be hurt. And if TV rights are hurt, players or teams will be hurt and the leagues are going to be hurt. And when they're going to lose money, they're going to do drastic changes. At the minute, no. One player or one fan, he's banned. The fan has been disrespectful and say, you monkey or whatever. He's banned for life.
Very bad.
What does it change?
This is uneducated people, in my opinion, talking like this. I hope it never happens. And
if you tell a club, okay, if you have problems, recurrent problem in your club, you're gonna play a full season without fans. You will see how they will be.
They will.
Yeah.
Tell them, because they will be losing 3 million every game, 4 million. You will see how they will act. Drastic.
They need to be drastic. It is
same with the FIFA. If something happen, you out or you go prison. You don't even talk. No justice. No, go prison. Go spend 1 year in prison. You will see if they will start playing with this. But it's too nice.
Very lenient.
They're too nice. Because you banned for 1 year football. The guy doesn't care because you can watch football on TV. Could make him have a spell in prison for 1 year.
Yeah.
He will see if he will take the risk just to mention something or to write something.
Definitely. It's a very important subject, and I hope I do hope they take drastic decisions very soon.
They should.
Yeah.
Like there isn't any other option. But now moving to the World Cup, Bacary, I want to talk about France a bit. So there are a lot of injuries with Kante, Pogba, Kunku, Kimpembe. Like the team is a bit compromised, but of course there are a lot of young promising talents that can rise to the occasion. What's your take on like France, and do you think they are the perfect winners for the World Cup?
Because you said that they're gonna win.
I said they're gonna win.
Yeah, you predicted, but like the midfield specifically, I believe is compromised more than the attack and defense.
No. Look.
They're young players in the midfield.
The midfield is not the midfield we had in the World Cup 2018. But still, we had one player who is regular starter in Real Madrid.
But the experience that you mentioned many times.
You need quality. They have experience. They've been playing high level. They've been playing for Real Madrid. This is experience. I know it's only a short spell for them, but they've been learning a lot in a short period of time because they're surrounded by amazing staff, amazing coach, amazing players. Mm-hmm. If you're able to play in Real Madrid, you can play national team and you can play against Australia. Don't you?
Yeah, I'm definitely
So you are able to deal with any pressure if you play for Real Madrid, because this is probably the club with the biggest pressure. This is our midfield. We have Rabiot. He used to play for Paris. He's a top quality player.
Rabiot, yes. No, I think now
he's a top player.
Now, maybe.
Now is it Juventus? Top player, top organization, top player, top team.
And they have Mbappe, who's amazing, but I don't know if it's something he has on the field sometimes or outside the field. Do you think his ego maybe sometimes gets in his way? I don't know if he doesn't have an ego. I don't know. Maybe that's what's just portrayed from the media.
I believe he has to protect himself by showing a strong image, by being arrogant. So people at least stop talking. If people start maybe looking for something, he would be arrogant and shut it. This is what Ronaldo did yesterday.
Yeah.
Or before yesterday. I don't know.
Yes.
He came and he said, look, if you have to talk to me. That's arrogance.
They're not my team. Yeah.
All we say is arrogant. No, he's shutting everything before it goes too far. Talk to me. He's ready to face him. Mbappe is not scared to face anyone and to reply what he's thinking. Mm-hmm. It's his personality. Of course, he doesn't suit to everyone. And people will relate the way he is with the press, with his performances on the pitch. It's different. But he was 18. He's growing up. He has personality also. He is a human being. So you're not the same at 18 that you are at 20 or 22. But players and people want him to be like he was at 18. No, he's a different player, different image, different personality now. He's probably the best player at the minute in the world. So of course, the way of being will change. It has to change because everything's changed around him. He has crazy salary. I think he is well raised.
Crazy salary.
But look, he's still assisting and scoring every weekend.
Yeah.
So he can have maybe arrogance, but he's still performing on the pitch, and this is what we want. And I'm not worried for France because you have Giroud.
Yeah, Giroud.
He's been criticized a lot in France. It was, when I was playing, he was booed. Every time he touched the ball, whistled because Benzema was not in the squad. So fans were against him because of Benzema not being in the squad. That was not fair to him, but
not at all.
He held his head right. Every game he was scoring.
Amazing player.
He's probably the best player at AC Milan.
Yeah, at Chelsea he was amazing.
Yeah, Chelsea was amazing. Arsenal, he was good. AC Milan, they won the title because of him. This season they're on top because of him again.
Definitely. Top quality player. I mean, they have amazing chances.
He's 2 goals away from breaking the record.
He's 2 goals away from breaking the record.
And national team record for France. Top scorer.
On top of him now.
Thierry Henry.
Wow. That's a huge mark.
So people write him off from the World Cup, but look, you don't want to be playing against him. Look, the crazy goal he scores every weekend. Acrobatically, he's physical. He has different qualities from Benzema, but you will see he will play his part. And he played his part in the World Cup. He didn't score, but he was the center point of the squad.
Bacary, do you think Qatar is being treated too harshly? A lot of bad media is hitting Qatar. I don't know what are your thoughts about it, but like, I don't know. Maybe.
To me, it's harsh. If you had to talk, why you didn't talk 10 years ago? Exactly. Or during the past 10 years? Why you have to wait 1 month before talking and saying, oh, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do that? The only... Not critics. It's not a critic, but analysis I will give was about the rules. I think they should have agreed on rules and never change the rules. If you don't want alcohol, no problem.
No.
But the fact that they were okay with it with Budweiser, for example, with that company. And then last minute they're saying no. To me, it's not fair. And I'm against alcohol because I don't drink myself alcohol. If someone drinks, that's his problem. But we need to respect the rules of the country. They are the hosts. They decide they are home. We need to be respectful for that.
Of course.
The only thing I will say is they should have agreed with the FIFA at the certain date, maybe 1st of January 2022, on rules and never change the rules. So everyone will be on the same guideline. What people don't accept is that at the last minute it's changing again. This is probably what makes people upset.
Because of the changes.
Of the changes.
They
not
need
the
to
fact that they don't want.
No.
They're probably why they don't accept it. I'm sure people respect Qatar. They're moving to Qatar. They're going to Qatar. But the fact that they focus on something, they worked on some project for 1 year and last minute it changes, the human side is coming out. Because if you put effort for 1 year in a one project and last minute someone tells you no, finally no, you'll get upset.
Yeah. Definitely.
Bacary, we talked about many players. We talked about defenders, midfielders, attackers. Hell, maybe we talked about goalkeepers. Do you have a starting top 11 in your mind you would like to share with us?
Yeah.
Full.
Yeah.
Mixing
top
those.
11,
Yeah.
yes. Tell us top 11. All time. I'm going to take them.
Okay.
All time.
As a goal, all time?
All time, not right now, like all time top 11. Oof. With manager and captain.
I would say Peter Schmeichel as a goal.
Peter Schmeichel on the goal.
Right back, I would pick Cafu.
Wow, yeah.
Left back, I would pick Roberto Carlos. Centre back, I'll pick stuff. Maldini and Vidic, Makelele, Zidane, of course, Ronaldinho. How much is that?
You still have 3.
Makelele, Zidane, Ronaldinho. Yeah, you still have 3, yeah. Maradona.
Pelé.
Oof.
It's a very offensive team. And
very offensive.
Maybe I should pick a most defensive player. Xavi.
Yes.
Wow,
I love that selection.
Okay.
But it's weird. No Ronaldo, Messi.
No. I said Messi, no?
No,
you did not say Messi. No. I think...
And who's the manager?
Who's the manager?
Manager? Fabio Capello.
Fabio Capello.
Yeah.
Although he didn't do a great job with England, sorry.
Well, it was difficult to make a great job with England.
He had
England was fighting
amazing
against
players.
Yeah, but England, the problem with England, they were fighting against their own players. The press was, for a long time, fighting against their own country. So if your player feels the country is not behind, how are you going to play? This is what happened with national team, French national team. We used to go national team and feel the press was against us. We used to travel with them before games. So you switch on TV, you see they're talking like about you like a piece of. And next day they walk past you on the plane. So how would you react? If I speak badly about you and you see me sitting behind you, how would you feel?
A lot of pressure on them, yeah.
And then again, they were telling everything that we were doing on the plane. If we smile before game, they not focus.
Yeah, you can't put that kind of pressure on the players, to be honest.
But then that's why we had problems in World Cup. There were build up of tension, build up for years and until.
Bacary, just a couple more questions, maybe a quick one. Ronaldo or Messi?
Messi.
Why?
To me, he's naturally gifted. I have a lot of respect for both of them. One symbolizes work in Ronaldo and quality, and the other one is just different. He's gifted. He's a joy of. He's a present of God for football lovers. Yeah.
Messi is definitely on a high level. Talking about Ronaldo, you've seen what happened with the interview. Do you sympathize with the player, or you think he shouldn't have acted this way?
I think he was right.
I agree. Thank you.
I think he was right, 100%.
Yeah.
You don't call Ronaldo after all he did
Exactly.
at the 80th minute. You have football rules. You have rules when you play football. You have a code. You have codes in football. People probably don't know that. As a coach, you don't do this. You don't call a player such. Call a young player, okay, at the 88th minutes. Don't do that with Ronaldo. People will say, oh no, he's a human being. He should be treated like everyone. No. You cannot treat Ronaldo like that.
At the end of the day, he's Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah.
People should not forget that.
Let's say, if emblematic coach was not doing well, we had the case in Arsenal. Do you think the way Arsenal fans treated Arsene Wenger was right? 22 years. He gave 20 perfect season.
Yeah.
The team is not doing well. So the team is out of 20 seasons. They're not allowed to do so one season. What do you think? Do you think football is planned? But the way is and that was pissing me off, and that was I was harsh with the club.
The fans
have to show respect
and appreciative.
You have to.
Yeah. Like the what Arsenal has done for 20 years, Arsene Wenger has done. People need to appreciate that. What Ronaldo has done his entire career, people need to appreciate that.
He has all the right to talk, because to me, United is not showing respect to him after what he did for the club.
Not at all.
What he did for football, honestly, they disrespected him.
Yeah, there's even my friends, they support United and they're like, put Ronaldo on the bench. I'm like, you guys are crazy.
And he was a top scorer last season.
Yes, and I'm like, I wish he came to Chelsea. So I think that's c'est dommage. Huge disrespect.
You know what pisses me off today? I believe clubs, they give too much power to the coaches. If I'm the club, if I'm the owner of the club, I will say, you know what, respect him.
100%.
He represented United through all his football career. He was our player. He was our baby. We put him on the scene. Respect him just for that.
And you know what's even more upsetting? That he had the choice between City and United before joining United. He had I think there was some talks about him joining Manchester City, but then Alex Ferguson called him, persuaded him maybe to go to United. I mean, these were the reports. Maybe you know better, but he didn't choose City over United.
Even mentioned
look, how long is he going to stay at United? 2 years? 3 years? Before he gets fired? So as a club, why would you give a credit to a coach that will stay and that probably doesn't care about the club? He will stay 2 years, 3 years. First minute he can go, he will go. He will resign or he will go.
Yeah.
He'll get fired. Okay. You have that emblematic player who loves the club, who came back to the club, who gave his life for the club, always praise the club, and you give credit to someone who's going to stay at the club for 2 years? probably, or 3. To me, it doesn't make sense. You have this lifetime player who has United image. I don't see Ronaldo as a Madrid player. I see him as, I remember the best images from when he was at United. He did amazing for Real Madrid, but I identify him more to
as a United, exactly.
As a United.
But now they ruined that.
But you prefer giving credit to someone who doesn't care from the club? And on top of it, who are starting? I'm sorry, but if I talk football, some of the players shouldn't be starting over him.
Of course.
I don't want to mention name, but they don't deserve more than him.
Of course.
To be on the bench. And if I have to pick between a young prospect, which is doing nothing, no assisting, no goals, what's the difference? But you play him saying Ronaldo is not.
Agreed. I hope the situation changes. I think it's deteriorated. I hope he finds the right club. I would be happy if he joins Chelsea.
If I was him, I would have left.
Yeah, I agree.
I would have resigned already.
And I would not be upset if he joins Arsenal and actually wins the Premier League.
I wish he can go Arsenal and destroy United.
It would be such a storyline. Like, imagine him leaving Manchester United, joining Arsenal.
Playing United and he destroys them. This is my wish.
Bacary.
Ronaldo, if you're aiming, go.
Bacary is telling you, Cristiano. Do you have? I hope to see you back involved in football, maybe in the Premier League. As a coach, as a director or something. Do you see yourself in that?
Not at all.
Not at all.
I'm always a quiet guy. I don't speak much. I never spoke much. That's why I never been captain in any other team. My task was to be good on the pitch, not talk. I was thinking about maybe going to coaching. I'll still pass my coaching badges, but I don't want to be coach. But still, I opened one academy here, Bowlers Academy in downtown. So basically, we are trying to build athletes in Middle East. We want to create that type of ecosystem that allowed kids to develop themselves. So we're going to be working on coordination, speed, balance, football understanding. And we want to change the mentality because you have quality here. You have 90% of expats. But you never see one of them reaching Europe. Why?
Exactly.
The belief is different. You have to give these kids credit and belief in themselves. And this is why I'm trying every day when I train with them. I push them. I don't accept the fact that they cannot pass the ball. Without opponents, they miss a pass. That's impossible. I'm very harsh with the kids, but they have to be conscious. It shouldn't happen. They get away too easily here in Middle East with it. It shouldn't happen. The way you pass the ball is different here and in Europe.
Of course,
They pass the ball, floppy pass. Shouldn't be. It's a strong pass. Don't be scared to hit the ball perfectly. First, you're going to make mistake, but you get used to it. And this is what I'm trying to change here, and I'll change it. I'll change the relation they have with the ball. I want them to be comfortable with the body. To be comfortable with the coordination. They're not coordinated. I see it every day because when I train the kids, I see it late. It doesn't mean they can not change. I change. I prove to myself that with work you can change. But it takes time and you have to be behind the kids. And what I did during COVID, I made an app, football app. This is a secret.
Okay. Is it out yet? Is it on Apple Store?
Not out yet, but it's on my phone.
Okay.
So I did an app. So basically, it's like kind of mentor. Mentor. So basically what I did is I'm answering people's questions regarding football. Because I always had the same question in my life. How do you defend on Ronaldo? How do you defend on Neymar? How do you defend on Messi? On crosses, how do you mark people? On corners, how do you mark people? What do you do at training? What do you hit before games? What do you hit after games? What do you recover? How do you stretch? What do you do when you're injured? So basically, I put everything on the same app. I split it in trainings. So physical training, collective trainings. I reproduce with a platform. I reproduce training sessions and I explain the purpose of training sessions. I analyze goals scored. So if I see a goal scored, I can reproduce the action and explain where the mistake was made. I speak about nutrition, wellness, injuries. Contract.
Contract.
I explain contracts.
Wow.
So if you have kids, or you will be able to understand contract. For people having kids, or even the kids themselves, they can listen to the content and kind of protect themselves and avoid making mistakes. So it's global, but
When will you launch the app?
probably December.
December. Looking forward.
As soon as possible, but I'm a perfectionist, so I spent 2 years of my life on it. I want the app to be perfect.
Can't wait for it to be
Best
out.
of luck with your new application.
Bacary, just a small section before we end it. And thank you so much for the time, by the way. I know we said it was much less. A small quiz, about football in general.
Trivia.
So I'm going to ask like 3 questions and Maher is going to ask 3 questions. And just to see like your knowledge, it's about football. So I'll start. So the first question is, which player scored the fastest hat-trick in the Premier League?
Haaland.
Haaland? No.
Is this updated?
No. It's Mo Salah.
It's Sadio Mane.
When he was in Southampton versus Aston Villa.
But Salah beat the record now.
He did this year. I hope this is not outdated.
This says 2 minutes 56 seconds. I'm not sure if Salah had.
I want to double check, but we can go ahead with the second question.
Be the first guest to correct us.
Yeah, exactly.
I think Salah beat
fastest hat trick. Let's see, in Premier League. Maybe he did it in the Champions League. Let's see.
Oh, it might be Champions League.
Sadio Mane.
It says Sadio Mane.
It might be Champions League. I was wrong. It was Champions League.
Might be Champions. You see, because like it's Bacary saying it, like I might be wrong.
No. That was Salah in Champions League.
Yeah. So Sadio Mane 2 minutes 56 seconds. Okay. The second question.
Who was it playing against? Because I want to be fighting
versus Aston Villa. Sadio Mane versus Aston Villa in 2015. I think he was still in Southampton. He was, right? Yeah. The second question, which player with 653 games has made the most Premier League appearances? Who do you think is up there?
I would say someone like Gary Neville or...
I can give you a hint. Let's tell him the club, I think.
Manchester City.
Or was he Burnley? Yeah,
both.
He was both. Burnley and Manchester City. And Everton. No, not Everton. Sorry, not Everton. Sorry for the confusion.
Julian Lescott?
Let me tell you, it's Gareth Barry.
Oh, yeah?
Gareth Barry.
I forgot about him, yes.
Yeah, 653. Okay, the third question from me. No, I think this one, I don't like it. Okay, with 260 goals, who is the Premier League's all-time top scorer?
Wayne Rooney?
No. He used to play with Newcastle.
Oh, Alan Shearer.
Yes, exactly. You couldn't have missed that. But question, do you think Harry Kane can overtake him? He's the second. Harry Kane has 195, Alan Shearer 260.
Actually, how old is Harry Kane? Yes, he
I
can.
think 28.
He can. He will.
He will?
He will.
If he is consistent.
So let's go to the fourth question. That one is relatively an easy one. Which team won the first Premier League ever?
Not too easy. It's so long ago.
Nottingham Forest?
No, it's actually Manchester United. I didn't.
Yeah, the first Premier League.
Oh, back in the days.
Yeah.
Back in the days when they used to wear the yellow and I think. Fifth question. With 202 clean sheets, which goalkeeper has the best record in the Premier League?
Must be maybe
He played for Arsenal and Chelsea. The goalkeeper with the most Premier League clean sheets. Goalkeeper played for Arsenal, Chelsea. A lot of clean sheets. Come on, there's one goalkeeper.
Who played for Chelsea and Arsenal?
He wears the hat. The goalkeeper. Peter Cech.
Oh.
Oh!
Long time ago.
Not that long. Not that
He
long.
played for Arsenal. I forgot.
Yeah,
at the end.
Chelsea, and then he moved to Arsenal.
I forgot he played for Arsenal. Yes.
Yeah, true.
It's fine. Yalla, one last one.
Last question.
I need to get at least one.
Yeah. Which country has appeared in 3 World Cup finals but have never won it?
Let's give him a hint. They played
Holland.
Yes.
Amazing.
Viva.
Yeah.
I remember because 2010.
Yeah.
Played Spain.
And they lost. And
That's
Iniesta
the-
scored. I mean,
this segment.
Bacary, thank you so much. It was really a
Such an
pleasure
amazing
having
episode.
you. Yeah, and getting to know you even better, how you started, your thoughts and viewpoints about football. Anjad, merci beaucoup, Bacary.
Thanks a lot.
Pleasure.
It's
Thank
our
you for
pleasure.
having me.
And
Of course, a pleasure.
we have to say
And we have
this.
to end it by saying, can you say always have a higher take? It's our podcast.
Okay.
Always have a higher take.
Great.
Thank you, Bacary.